You spend 6 years building a life with someone. 6 years of splitting bills, sharing a roof, fighting about laundry, and laughing in the same kitchen. 6 years of believing that what's mine is yours, and what's yours should be shared too. But what happens when that illusion breaks? What happens when the person you loved turns into a spreadsheet? This isn't a story about money. It's a story about fairness and the cost of being taken for granted. Let me take you back. I met him in my 20s. We weren't rich, but we were stable. Both of us had decent jobs, similar salaries, and a shared dream. Own a home, build a future, do it together. We were engaged, not married, but living like it, in every sense that mattered. We bought a house. Well, I bought the house. The mortgage was in my name. The payments came out of my bank account. But we agreed it would be our home, our investment. Still, he never got around to putting his name on the loan. He said it was fine. That paperwork didn't matter when love was involved. And so, I paid. Every month. On time. For 6 years. He covered groceries, utilities, some other shared stuff. It was a partnership. But let's not kid ourselves. The big stuff. The kind of stuff that builds equity. The kind of stuff that pays off in the end. That was me. And then, the end came. We drifted. The spark faded. No big fight. No betrayal. Just a slow unraveling. We decided to separate. Amicably. And that's when it happened. We sold the house, and suddenly the man who said paperwork doesn't matter wanted half. Half of the profits from the sale, half of the money. I had helped build, brick by brick, with every mortgage payment I made from my account. He said it was fair. He said we shared the home. He said he contributed, even though his name was never on the deed, never on the mortgage, never on the bank statements. And when I hesitated, he looked at me like I'd slapped him, like I'd suddenly turned greedy. But here's the thing. It wasn't about greed. It was about principle. This wasn't some petty breakup squabble. This was about how much we're expected to give and give up in the name of love. Because while I was building equity, he was coasting, not maliciously, not lazily, but comfortably. Comfortable with me doing the heavy lifting. And when it came time to cash in, he wanted his cut. No discussion of what's fair based on what we each put in. Just a flat claim. We were partners, so we split it. 50-50. Like a game show. Like a divorce court. Like we were strangers fighting over loot. I asked him, "Do you remember the nights I stayed up late reworking the budget so we could make the mortgage? Do you remember when I took on that second freelance gig so we wouldn't fall behind? Do you remember ever once paying a dime toward the loan?" He didn't answer. He just said, "That was your choice." And maybe it was. Maybe I chose to believe we were building something permanent. Maybe I chose to be generous, not stupid. Maybe I chose to love someone who didn't love me in the same way. Because love, real love, doesn't let someone walk away with half of what you bled for, just because they stuck around long enough. But still, I felt guilty. Because women are taught to feel guilty for drawing boundaries. We're taught to feel selfish for saying, "I gave more, I deserve more." And in that moment, looking at this man I once thought I'd marry, I felt like I was on trial. Not for being unfair, but for finally standing up for myself. I didn't scream. I didn't threaten lawyers. I just asked, "Why do you think you deserve the same as me when we didn't put in the same?" He said, "Because we lived there together." as if presence equals contribution, as if coexisting under a roof is the same as investing in it. That's when it clicked. He wasn't trying to cheat me. He genuinely thought he was entitled. Because entitlement wears many faces. Sometimes it's loud and obvious. Other times, it's wrapped in a smile and a soft voice saying, "But I thought we were a team." But a team pulls equal weight. And this was a performance. So I said no. I offered a split based on our contributions. Not a perfect one, but one that at least acknowledged the math. He sulked, said I was being petty, said I was ruining our amicable split. But I wasn't the one rewriting history. I was just finally telling the truth. And the truth is, love without accountability isn't partnership. It's dependency. He depended on me. And now he was trying to profit from that. And even though I knew I was right, I still lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, wondering, am I the asshole? For wanting back what I paid into? For drawing a line after years of compromise? For expecting fairness instead of sentiment? That's the question I bring to you, because this isn't just about money. It's about all the invisible ways people contribute, and all the ways that effort gets ignored when it's convenient. So I ask you, if you build something, fund it, carry it, and someone else just lives in it, quietly, without complaint, but also without real responsibility. When it's time to divide the spoils, do they deserve half? Even if they didn't help build it? Even if they never asked where the money came from? Even if they benefited simply by being near you? So, am I the asshole? And now, a moment from the host. This story hits deep because it's not just about real estate. It's about emotional equity, about how we give in relationships, and how that giving is remembered or forgotten when things fall apart. What we just heard isn't a legal debate. It's a moral one. And at the center of it is something so many of us struggle with: the desire to be fair, even when others haven't been. This narrator didn't demand everything. She asked for recognition, for honesty, for someone, anyone, to say, yeah, you paid more, you did more, you carried more. And that's what so many of us want. Not revenge, not domination, just fairness. So if you've ever been in a situation where your effort was invisible, where your giving was treated like a baseline, and someone else's comfort was the reward, you're not alone, and you're not wrong for wanting justice. We talk a lot about what's fair in love, but maybe fairness is love, and when it's not there, maybe it's okay to walk away with exactly what you earned. No more, no less. If this story spoke to you, if you've ever been that person holding the weight while someone else reaped the rewards, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Let's talk about emotional labor, financial boundaries, and what fairness really means. Because in the end, these aren't just Reddit stories. They're our stories, and sometimes just saying it out loud is the first step toward healing.